Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel. This is the Chow Dog, and today I'm making what is considered, in my opinion, to be the epitome of comfort food. I'm making some pot roast. Let me show you how I do it. First, I got some vegetables. I gave them all a rough chop, about like you see here, nothing too fancy. We just want to make sure that they're all bite-sized. Then I took me a chuck roast. This is about 2.5, 3 pounds. And I season it very liberally with some salt, with some pepper, with some garlic, and some onion powder. The key thing is to make sure that your roast is at room temperature. If not, when you put it on the hot skillet, it's gonna seize and tighten up. It's gonna make it really dry and make it hard. This is a pretty thick roast, so I made sure that I well seasoned it. All the ingredients you see here, once again, that was a couple tablespoons of salt, a couple tablespoons of pepper, some granulated garlic powder, and some onion powder. I wanted to make sure I season every aspect of it, so I used a tray to season it on. And as you're going to see here in a few seconds, what I did is all the residual seasoning that was still left over in the pan, I just picked it up and used the edges of the roast to sop up all of that seasoning, as you see here. This is not mandatory, but why waste your seasoning? After that, I sprinkled it with just a little bit of flour. That flour is going to give it a crust when you put it in this hot grease. I took about 2 or 3 tablespoons of oil and I put it in a hot pan and got it very, very hot. And then I gently laid my chuck roast into that pan. I made sure that I pressed it down to make sure I get good surface contact on that cast iron skillet. This is going to give us a good crust. I'm going to sear this for about 3 to 4 minutes. And I'm gonna flip it over, do the same thing for the other side. I'm also gonna make sure that I do the edges. When I finish, it looks something like this. This is perfect, good caramelization on that. I'm gonna actually take it out now and let it rest before I put it into my pot. I've added my celery, my onions to a pan. I got about a tablespoon of oil in there. I'm gonna give this a quick stir, let it start sauteing a little bit. To this, I'm gonna add about a tablespoon and a half of better than bouillon beef base. This is the roasted garlic flavor, but you can use any kind you want. I'm gonna give that a quick stir. To that, I'm gonna add about 2 cloves of garlic. Now, I didn't have 2 whole cloves, so I just used what I had left in the jar of my mixed garlic, but feel free to use either one. After that, I'm gonna take and lay my roast over top of the vegetables, so it's not on the bottom of the pan. Then, this is optional, I took and sprinkled it with some slow cooker pot roast seasoning. Again, this is optional, but I felt that this gives my my sauce more body and more flavor. It also helps to thicken up my sauce and make it more like a gravy. So now I'm going to add 1 container, which is 32 ounces of beef broth. I'm going to add that to the pan, just like that. 1 whole container is normally can do. After that, I'm going to take 2 cups of red cooking wine, and I'm going to add that to the party. After all this, my liquid should come up to just about halfway of my meat, if not just slightly covering it, just like you see here. I got my medium, my temperature on medium high. Before I close it up, I'm going to add a little bit of thyme and some fresh rosemary. Once I bring it to a boil, I'm going to reduce it down to a low simmer. I'm going to cover it and simmer this for 2 hours. After the 2-hour mark, I'm going to take it, look like this. I'm going to give it a quick stir just to kind of test the tenderness of it. Ideally, I like to cook this for 3 hours. And now I'm going to add my my potatoes and my carrots during this last hour of cooking. I'm going to give it a stir. I'm going to cover it back up. 45 minutes after I add the carrots and the potatoes, I'm going to give it a quick check with my tongs. She's there, but not quite where I want it to be, so I'm going to recover it up and let it go for another 15 to 20 minutes until it's to my desired tenderness. After that, I take it, I plate it up, and man, it is fabulous. Very tender, very flavorful. It's a quick and easy recipe. This can be done stovetop, in the oven, or with a slow cooker. Hope you enjoy it. See you next video.